Everyone. This is Toni Cameron from Metamorphosis Teaching Learning Communities. I'm here with some colleagues, and we're ready to teach you a new game.
Hi, everyone. I'm Stephanie Slabic.
And I'm Daniel Scher. And Toni, let's get started.
Okay, so today we're going to share a game that's really a puzzle. And this puzzle is something I actually used to use in my classroom way back when I had a classroom and taught math in a math lab. If you've actually had a chance to watch the things we've produced thus far, you know that we strongly believe in the power of play and think it's an essential ingredient in deep learning. We also believe that games and puzzles can be used to develop mathematical thinking. So the game today, or the puzzle, is called Build Me, and it's designed to support a certain kind of mathematical reasoning that's really connected to logical thinking. As children solve the puzzles in this game, they're going to be developing strategic problem-solving strategies and specific habits of mind that we feel are essential for successful learning.
All right. So Toni just mentioned habits of mind, and these are strategic tools that students need to use to be successful as learners. Arthur Costa, Ben Akalik, and their colleagues have written several books on the topic and describe habits of mind as dispositions displayed by intelligent people in response to problems, particularly when the solution isn't immediately apparent. Under this video, we've linked a document that has more information about these habits of mind, but their books are also a great resource. So one of the greatest ways to develop habits of mind are by giving children rich learning experiences that have challenge. And these challenges can develop a number of critical habits of mind, like persistence, question posing, and reflection and metacognition. So today's interactive puzzle is designed to support children's strategic thinking and habits of mind.
So now let's see how we play the Build Me puzzles. Here I have a tens frame, and it can hold 10 of these tiles. And notice that my tiles are yellow, red, and green. And I can pull over a tile to sit within my frame. And when I do, like with this yellow tile, notice that it leaves me more yellow tiles that I can continue to drag into the frame if I wish. I can also drag these other colors. Now, because this is a logic game, we're going to be providing you with a series of clues which will allow you to figure out what combinations of colors, or maybe even more than one combination of colors, solves each puzzle. So I'm going to press reset tiles to bring all the tiles back into my well over here. And then I'll start by pressing the first clue. And this says I used 10 tiles. So I could start as a student by dragging some of these tiles into my frame till I have 10 of them. Now though, there's a second clue, so there's more information. It says 5 tiles are red. So that might lead me to think about how I need to maybe take some of these tiles out and drag other tiles in. And with each clue that we're provided, it gives us more information. And we have to piece these clues together in a logical way to see if we can meet all of the different requirements of this Build Me puzzle. And when we're done and we're ready to check, we can press this check button to see if we've solved the puzzle.
All right, so before we play this game, there are important things for you to consider whether you're a parent or a teacher. And one of the things that's a challenge as we interact with children is that sometimes it can be hard to watch a child play a game without controlling their strategy or telling them a strategy or even fixing their thinking. So we have questions that we consider every single time that we're engaging with a child in playing a game. And those questions are, what strategies might kids use when they're playing this game? What math underlies their thinking? And then what questions do we have as the adults that can support and challenge students' thinking? Let's play the game Build Me. So I'm going to start by showing the first clue. The first clue says I use 10 tiles. So I'm going to pull over 10 tiles. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'm going to put more green because I like green at the end. 7, 8, 9, 10. That must be it. Check. Sorry, try again. I wonder what happened.
So I noticed that you read the clue 1 and it said to use 10 tiles, and you did, but it said that you weren't correct. And I wonder why that is too. But I noticed that there are also 2 more clues, and maybe you should look at those as well.
That's a great idea.
So one of the most important things we can do as teachers is to observe what's happening when children are learning. 2 questions to think about as you do this is, what am I noticing? What is this telling me about how this student is thinking? What does it mean mathematically? What does it mean in terms of the student's social development? The student we watched now was choosing randomly. Notice that Daniel didn't fix her strategy. He gave a prompt. I wonder if another clue would help us build the puzzle. Doing that gives the student a hint, but doesn't actually tell them what to do.
So let's play another round. I'm going to look at my first clue. I use 10 tiles. How do I know which ones to use? I think I need another clue. Ooh, 5 tiles are red. That's helpful. I'm going to put 5 tiles on the top because that is a really good clue. 5 tiles. All right. So now what? I've got some empty spaces here. I wonder what I should put there. Let me see what clue number 3 says. Oh, I used yellow tiles and green tiles. All right, great. Green, 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 green. And then I'll put a yellow in because I love green. That works. That should work. Oh, sorry, try again. Oops. I wonder what happened there. Let's see. I'm going to look at my clues. I used 10 tiles. Yep, I did 10 tiles. 5 tiles are red. Yeah, I did that. And I have yellow and green tiles. I really wonder what's wrong here. Ugh.
So you are really using some interesting strategies. I really love how when you didn't solve it the first time, you went back and you checked by reading through the clues again and checking what you built. Here's one thing I noticed though. When you read that third clue, I heard you say, I used yellow and green tiles. Can we check that clue together and read it together?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, let's try it.
Okay.
I
used more yellow tiles than green tiles. Oh, I see. I didn't pay attention to the word more before.
No, more.
Telling me, yeah, I need to use more yellow tiles than green tiles. And right now, I think I can, because I think right now I have more green tiles. So if I take away this green tile and this green tile, and I put yellow tiles in the place, let me see again. Let me go through all the clues again, Daniel. All right, I used 10 tiles. That's right. 5 tiles are red. Got that. And now I used more yellow tiles than green tiles. I think it should work.
Give it a try.
Okay. I did it.
Yeah.
Yay, woohoo. But can I find another way? I'm not sure.
All right, here we see Stephanie using really critical problem-solving strategies. First of all, she's doing the think aloud as she's building. I use 10 tiles. She doesn't impulsively just fill it with tiles. She's like, wait a minute, which tiles? She goes to the next clue. 5 tiles are red, and that's specific enough for her to realize I need 5 red tiles. Then she looks at the bottom and says, well, what goes here? I don't know, so I better take another clue. She uses the next clue, and then she does something that's very common in early childhood, and that is when something is modified by more or is in the construct of more yellow tiles than green tiles, students often read that as I used yellow and green tiles. What Daniel does as a teacher is he watches her, and then he goes back, he highlights what she's doing that's effective as a learner and how powerful her problem-solving strategies are. But then he goes back to the place where she was having a challenge, and he said, let's read this together. And as they read it together, and as Stephanie heard what was Daniel was saying with her, and the word more became apparent, and that she had more green than yellow, and she needed to switch it around. We saw Stephanie puzzling about the language more, but then when she checked her answer, she started to think about, what does it mean? Can you find another way? This is a beautiful place for a math thinker to be, because now she's got to think about, what was my strategy? And if there is another solution, how can I actually find it? Puzzlement is critical to learning.
All right, so can you find another way? Well, I'm not sure, but let me go back and look at my clues. I used 10 tiles, 5 tiles are red, so I can't change that. But there are more yellow tiles than green tiles. Here I have 3 yellow tiles and 2 green tiles. I know, I can replace one of these green tiles for a yellow tile. I think that should work. I did it. Look at that. I still used more yellow tiles than green tiles, and I still have 5 tiles that are red, and that's 10 tiles total.
Notice that there was no teacher commentary here. The teacher sat back and watched the student problem solve on her own. How beautiful that she found a solution without being directed towards it. However, the question still remains, can you find another way? And now Stephanie will have to prove that she's found all the possible solutions, and how will she do that? Some powerful math thinking is going to happen here as she starts to think about that quantity of 5. It has to be yellow, it has to be green, but she needs more yellow than green. Are there more than 2 possible solutions? Who knows? Here she goes. She's going to try again.
Okay, so I wonder if there's another way. What would happen if I replaced this green one with the yellow one? Would that work? There's more yellow than green, but there's no green tiles anymore. Let me press check and see. Wow, look at that. It's true. I do have more yellow than green. 5 yellow is more than no green. It works.
So now Stephanie is ready to move on to the next game. And in the lower right corner, she can click the right arrow to move to game number 2. And let's take a look at the first clue. I used 10 tiles. And hey, that's familiar. That's the same clue we used on page 1. And by having this repetition of using the same clue, it gives children some comfort that they're starting with something that they know. Now let's take a look at the second clue. Some are blue, some are red, and some are yellow. So notice that the word some is vague. How does one quantify some? Getting comfortable with ambiguity is an important part of learning. Let's take a look now at clue 3 to see if we can make this a little less ambiguous. I used the same number of blue tiles and red tiles. So in this case, the word same is limiting the number of possibilities. The number of blue tiles and the number of red tiles need to be the same. And this gets at the idea of a double. For example, 1 plus 1, 2 plus 2, 3 plus 3, 4 plus 4. whatever that double, the remaining number of tiles has to be yellow. And when we pull this information together, this is where we're making a logical deduction.
Let's look at what's changed on this page. First of all, we now have 4 different colors of tiles: yellow, blue, green, and red. That makes this a little more complex. Clue number 1 stays the same. There's my comfort. I use 10 tiles. I know what that means. Clue number 2, I used each color. I have to deconstruct that clue to think about what does it mean to use each color. And then I have to think, oh wait, there's 4 colors and I used at least one of each color. I have to use each color. Clue number 3, I used double the number of blue tiles as yellow tiles. Let me reread that because that feels really difficult and challenging. I used double the number of blue tiles as yellow tiles. Well, I know I'm going to have blue tiles and yellow tiles because I need one of each color. But now I have to have double the number of blue as yellow, which really is getting at the idea of ratio, that if I have blue tiles, I have to have twice as many as the yellow tiles. So for example, if I have 2 blue tiles, I'll only have 1 yellow tile. And then the rest I can fill in any way I want, which I'm going to put 3 red and 4 green. Let's see if that works. Notice the amount of information I have to keep track of as I'm doing this puzzle. Much more complex. No, I'm too tired to find another way.
All right, game 4. Let's show first the first clue. I used 10 tiles, played that before. 1 tile is yellow. That's a great clue because that's very direct. I know exactly what to do. Clue 3, half of my tiles are green. Now here's where we may start to have a real challenge for students. Why may it be challenging for a student? Well, half is half of what? Is it half of the 1 tile? Or is it, what does the half live in relation to? And so in this case, if half the tiles are green, I have to deduce that the number of green tiles is 5 because 5 is half of 10. Before going on to the last clue, where I can arrange the other tiles as blue and red.
So we've just seen Stephanie solve 4 puzzles. And here's a helpful hint. We suggest that your child uses crayons or markers and 10 frames to keep track of their solutions. This way they can compare and think about what's similar and what's different. Another big idea that will come up is what constitutes a unique solution. This question is left purposely open. For example, a child might have the same quantity of red, yellow, and green tiles, but it might look different visually. Have they built a different solution? This is a question that could be the basis for interesting debates.
We'd like to thank you for joining us today. We had fun sharing our new interactive puzzle. We will be creating more, so stay tuned. Bye, everybody.